street food.
Thanks for joining us today, street foodies. Not one, not two, but 3 snacks from a really cool spot near Xi'an. Now this is a place you have probably never heard of. If you have, well then, you know, good for you. Xi'an has a lot of famous attractions, right? The Terracotta Warriors, the Bell Tower, the city center, but there are so many more. Check out my top 5 favorite attractions video if you want to know my opinion on the matter. For the most famous places, you probably don't need a guide, right? There's plenty of English. But for the more fringe attractions, places that Chinese tourists might go, but foreigners tend to skip, you really gotta have the language. Or you need a Chinese friend. My very good friend Francis gave me a ride to a spot that I've been wanting to visit. It's about 45 minutes outside of Xi'an. The ride took us past some of the new buildings still going up all over China.
You got a camera?
Yeah, don't look at the camera. Look at the street. 我们现在去哪儿？
我们现在去新平马尾驿民俗乐园。新平离西安大约60公里。
新平是咸阳里面吗？
新平是咸阳的一个郊区。
Wei Yi has only recently been developed for tourists, so it's kind of hard to get to on your own. First, you got to get to a town called Xinping. Even if you speak Chinese, like I do, there's not a single bus that will take you there. You have to take a multiple bus route. And if you take a taxi, it's really expensive. So plotting that out is really complex. I was very grateful for Francis. Xinping is a small town. It's got this chemical factory that you can see from a ways off. On the outskirts of town, it starts to feel like the countryside. You can see farms and that kind of thing. When you see the big gondola, you know that you're getting close.
你可以给我们介绍马尾驿是什么？
当时在唐朝天宝年间，安史之乱，唐太宗兵败，借道马尾驿去往四川。在马尾驿的时候，士兵哗变，要求唐太宗李隆基处死杨贵妃。现在人们就是跟他开发成为一个农家游，有好多民俗的东西。
有民俗的吃的，对不对？
吃的，还有一些穿的、用的。你到时候可以去看一下。
Now this is a restored historical site. That means most of what you see is new construction made to look like it did back in the day. But there is a museum on the grounds with actual historical artifacts. They've restored it into an authentic representation of the old town. It's basically a horse hitching station, a place for the army to water their horses and get refreshed. There's a system of alleys and streets, and they're all newly renovated, so it's pretty awesome. A lot of it is actually still being renovated, so you'll see plenty of construction. The main strip is covered with strings of red lanterns, at least while we were there. That's where you can find the snacks. We'll get to that in a minute. In Chinese culture, the red lantern tends to be a symbol of like booming prosperity, especially for business, so they're often hung outside of businesses. And you'll see even more of them during holidays, Spring Festival, Lantern Festival, National Day. They'll hang them in parks and along the streets. Actually, in Chinatowns, you've probably seen red lanterns. They've become sort of like a symbol of Chinese culture all over the world. Wei Yi has an old-fashioned distillery. And by the looks of it, the guy who makes the baijiu hits it all day, drinking with customers and whatnot. He told us they still brew it just like they did back in the day. So that's pretty cool if you're into historical brewage. In addition to baijiu, they also produce vinegar, which is famous in the area. Francis's mom asked him to pick some up for her while we were there. They use this thing to make oil somehow. They've got a real donkey to grind their chili pepper. If you remember back to season 4, I talked about the 8 weird things of ShaanXi people.
ShaanXi 8大怪，有的辣子。
We got some bread so you can sample the chili oil, and it's pretty awesome. The snack street had a ton of stuff.
Some rabbits. What are they cooking? Yum, yum, yum.
I sampled a bit of this sesame-flavored candy. They also had peanut and ginger flavored. They got guokui, also in season 4. Check out this dude making it with a giant pipe. I've tried this before, but I've never seen it made the old-fashioned way. Again, awesome. There's also a big square where they do a stage show and some other shows like this one featuring, of course, the Monkey King. People hanging out, just playing mahjong, you know, chilling. Eating some snacks, maybe sample some classic tea, listen to some classic folk music. The museum section has rooms built into a hillside, just like they might have been back in the day. One room has a display on ancient wedding customs. That's all well and good, but I'm ready for some snacks. Started off simple with these sweet potato balls.
用蒸熟的红薯做成薯泥，捏成丸子来做的，然后在锅里面炸一下就可以了。
No frills, basic but good. It's a deep fried, sweet little snack. Then we tried some lao suan nai. This yogurt was some of the best I've had in China. It was extremely firm, which I like, and sweet, but not too sweet.
All right, what do you think?
It's good.
It comes in these glass jars.
So how to translate the lao in English in this situation?
That's a good question. Lao means old, but in this case I probably translate it classic because it refers to the way they make it. Maybe old-fashioned is even better. Old-fashioned yogurt.
这个我最喜欢喝了。
酸辣肚子汤, hot and sour stomach soup. Cow stomach soup. I don't love eating cow's stomach, but if you're gonna eat it, this is a great way to do it. Super fresh veggies, made to order, chili pepper to spice it up, black mushrooms, tofu, green onions. It's quite spicy, served with a bing. They call it tangmian, soup bread.
可是评价一下。
I really wish I lived closer to Wei Yi. It's a pain to get there, but this is the kind of place that I want to hang out, you know? Bring your friends, catch a show, get your snack on. I hope you enjoyed Wei Yi as much as I did. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever eaten cow's stomach. How was it prepared? Did you like it? Something delicious next week. Until then, eat it on the street. Watch out for the parasites.
Street food.
So the quality of this episode is better than what I typically get in a street food episode. Hopefully you noticed. Now this is what I'm going for, street foodies, but to get there I need a little help. Please consider a small Patreon donation, just like $1 an episode, something like that, to help ensure that the quality of these episodes is continually on the rise. Thank you, as always, for snacking with me.